What is the worst advice you ever received? Not to me, but my boyfriend enrolled in community college. For like an entire semester of classes for 5, depending, it costs like $2,000. His fucking parents told him to take out a loan when he had a grant. When I freaked and asked why would they suggest that, he said to soften the expenses for everyday things. Like WTF. These people also convinced their younger son to buy a car with basically no credit while working at McDonald's. Yeah. His credit is fucked at 21. And now he doesn't have that brand new car anymore because it got repossessed. For context, I live in a home for the disabled. In order to leave the property, I have to pass a few tests to take the wheelchair I'm borrowing out. Anyway, I was told that if I'm being robbed, to just give them some money. Yeah. Then I'll become a target to others and a repeat victim. A trained professional gives people that as a piece of advice. I'm just going to act like I have a mental disability. And how I'm excited to go to the store or something. Is it insensitive? A bit. But it's better than being jumped. You'll never get another job as good as this one. AOL advice from a co-worker as I quit and was walking out mid-shift from a brain-rotting graveyard shift at the post office, where I sorted mail all night long. I took a big wage cut for a few months at a mom-pop electronics shop, but then got hired on at a startup tech business that turned into a major success story and launched my career in high tech. Leaving the decent paying but soul-sapping post office job was the smartest move I ever made. Family friend of mine confidently told me that if you want to get hired, you need to walk in and ask someone for an interview, and then show up early to show you have gumption. I told them this is a good way to ensure the company will never hire you and escort you off the premises. I got told I'm lazy and have a bad attitude about job hunting. Oh, you'll feel different about having kids around when they're your own. My mother, after I vented to her about stepchildren problems which were actually caused by their parents, one of which is now my ex, not the young kids themselves. Anyway, yeah. No. Are you sure you want to change careers? You won't even be using your degree. In the nearly 6 years since I changed careers, I paid off my student loan, got a brand new car and tripled my salary. Glad I ignored the outside noise and bet on myself. Eat a low-fat, high-carb diet. TBF, this was the standard advice given to everyone in the US at least. Led to me gaining a lot of weight. Your cravings can increase a lot when you don't have enough fat or protein to stabilize your blood sugar levels. I went to a foot doctor because my walk is improper, and I suspected very strongly from the shape of my foot a genetic issue by the way that I required arch support. The advice I was given by this medical professional was just walk heel to toe. Not given to me, but my partner's co-worker told them not to bother telling me when their job overseas was going to be extended for another week. He'd been divorced 3 times, and I'm honestly not surprised. Psychologist, you have to allow your 15-year-old daughter to continue to date a 19-year-old criminal who just took her across 3 state lines for a week and a half without your knowledge or permission. Stay for the kids. My ex was abusive, and at the time I didn't have the money to be out on my own. I stayed. Worst advice ever. Thank goodness I ended up coming to my senses a short while later. To avoid certain arbitrary foods to fix my chronic disease. Still got the chronic disease and topped with disordered eating caused by fearing that mystery foods could be making me sick. To have children early since childbirth might get complicated as women age. And to still have the energy, when I got older, to spend time with grown kids and grandkids. I have PCOS PTW. You don't need a lawyer. I have one for both of us. That way it's cheaper, and we will get the parenting plan wrapped up and divorce finalized. Crush. Resident at the told me that my broken bone was a pulled muscle and to stretch it every day. Thankfully, we didn't take that advice and it turned out okay. The most recent was in Beth Frankel's post, where she tells people to reach out to people they have complicated relationships with. BC, her mom died. Follow a specific stock show on TV and you will be rich. The advice was given around 2007 and Stock Guru's picks went down the crater soon after. Don't do anything if you can't do it right the first time. A favorite of my mother. Guess who never starts a single task from fear of failure? Just pray. I mean, it's not bad, but the Bible also says you can't do anything if you won't work with something. Success is defined by how much money you have. This came from an ex, and I listed this as a red flag. My mother told me to announce that I was deeply ashamed of having schizophrenia to my family. I didn't. That I need to suck up with all the bad things because good things will eventually come. It didn't. Carry on, kill that BTCH, and I'll visit you in prison afterwards. It's fine to let your intrusive thoughts take over sometimes. Don't go to bed angry. Rest brings clarity to an angry mind.